Hello everybody, welcome back to Plan B TV News. In this particular video, there is something I want to show you guys to let you know how corrupt is your politician. I'm not saying some, but I'm saying 99% of your politicians are so corrupt and drained inside corruption that the Nigerian people are not used to it. Becomes something that, okay, is normal, like just like NEPA. NEPA don't bring lights. NEPA don't take lights. It's normal. Nobody complains anymore. We are used to it.
All the revelations that came out of the designer story by now should have become a movie.
How did you even know that? I go there not all the time, that's the thing.
It's the first time Diazani is speaking to the media in 8 years.
U.S. and British official told us Alison Maduki might have personally overseen the stealing of $6 billion.
Diazani Alison Maduki appeared at the Central London Police Station.
I authorized it. I authorized the rest of it.
Threatened that if I don't leave that story, it's going to be eliminated.
I can't remember if there's ever been a Nigerian woman as powerful as she was.
Buying a yacht with the money of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and be riding it around and renting it out to Jay-Z and his wife, Beyonce. I think that one is more brazen.
She has corruption in her system. Where are you from? How do you come about this thing?
Look, just look at it.
Cost of living has tripled.
So I cannot ask any question here. So which one is the Diazani house?
I feel like John says it's across there now.
We are going there.
I was born into the oil sector.
I beg now, Heritage Court Estate. So we're here at the 1220 West Highway, Silver Spring in Maryland, which is one of the apartments that Diazani allegedly bought.
Her name is not on any of those documents, is it? These are all properties which are bought for her benefit.
I believe that one of the properties that was purchased by Kolawaluka was in the name of a shell company called Madam Inc. And it was interesting because Madueke was called Madam.
So this is not London. So she and her people wait until they buy a house.
Check your facts.
The first woman to lead a country delegation in OPEC.
It is blood money.
I think Diazani was pretty intimidating to everyone.
But I want you guys to watch this particular podcast with Sheung on how the Channel Television interviewed this man and the secrets this man revealed. And there's a video I also want you guys to watch. We'll be right back, but I want you guys to watch this particular video. We'll be right back.
How bad is corruption in the Nigerian government or in the Nigerian system?
Some of the things I recovered were returned back to, people will recover those things from. For instance, there was this case of somebody will recover 80 S-Class Mercedes-Benz car, brand new. Houses, farms, motorcycles, and so forth. In a house in Jabi, under information, we got intelligence, and we went there, we saw all those things. I wrote to the customs, the DG of customs, do these people pay custom duties on these vehicles? 80 brand new S-Class, armored plated. The CG of customs said no, they didn't pay. I wrote to Federal Inland Revenue Service. These people pay tax? If you are importing, if you have this kind of vehicles, if you have money to buy this kind of vehicles, they should pay enormous tax to the Nigerian government. They say no, they don't have any record of them paying tax. So we went to court. We got an order of official, and then the court asked us to, we should take custody of those things, interim for official, pending the hearing of the case. So I did a memo to the Attorney General to brief him of what we were doing. But later on, the Attorney General said that all the cases are investigated. They never mandated me. One of them was, came through Panama Papers. You know about the Panama Papers? Mm-hmm. A Nigerian senator, former military governor, was mentioned that he has properties in offshore islands. Since I didn't have the structures to investigate this issue, which is overseas, I went to the DG, NIA, said, look, please, let us work together to do this investigation. And they did the investigation. The report was sent to me. I sent one to the president and I sent one to the Attorney General that this man has over 200 million pounds in the offshore islands.
A former governor, a sitting senator.
He's no longer in the Senate.
No, at the time.
At that time, he was a sitting senator. But he had been president of the Nigerian Senate.
But nothing happened.
Not till today. What of the $69 billion? I got a letter, I didn't prompt them, from an American law firm saying that they have assets or access to a bank account in Texas that has over $69 billion US. Proceeds from stolen crude oil. And the 9 billion, 69, the proceeds from the crude oil is 60 billion. The 9 billion is, they mentioned the name, Patrick Aziza, who was National Security Advisor. And I thought it was beyond me, so I wrote to the president that this is what this firm has, alleged. Yes. That they are asking for money, that if we make some payment available, that they will give us the bank, not the holders of the account number, the bank accounts, and so forth and so on. So I went to the president and said, approve, so that we can recover this money. 69 billion, it's a lot of money. Of course, nothing came out of it.
Up to now.
I also did a letter to Attorney General to brief him. But do you know what he said? The day he saw my wife, he laughed in a very sarcastic manner. I think Obla claimed that he would recover 69 billion US as he recovered the money. He was being sarcastic. How would I recover the money when you didn't act as the Attorney General? Somebody has said, look, we have $69 billion of Nigerian money in a bank account in America.
And the government did not take action.
Nothing. Look, it's in the media. If you look at Punch published the story. Punch published this story. Even when Buhari was in office, they did. I think if I would download it and send it to you, nothing was done.
It feels like the government you work for was a failure in that respect.
Why I have said so, that I was disappointed, because I believe so much in the former president, and I worked passionately for him.
But would you attribute the underdevelopment of our country today to corruption?
Why not? Look, if you can, somebody can take $69 billion out of Nigeria. If we have $69 billion, our universities will change. Our polytechnics, our secondary schools, we'll have water, and this is just a tip. That is just a tip of the iceberg.
There are so much more.
This tells that there are a lot of things that are going on in the Nigeria political corrupt space. Everybody's fighting to become a politician, not to work, but to eat. They want to eat because it becomes a poverty alleviation opportunity for them. Once you're a politician, you have rights to embezzle, rights to fraud, right above law, and anything you want to do, you can do as a politician because nothing can hold you bound. Why you are angry after watching this particular video to see how corrupt is your politician? But this is just a tips of it.
Appropriated for 2023 from the Accountant General's office. Was it released to the account of the Ministry of Women Affairs? Yes or no?
Honorable Minister and your team, Mr. DFA, I'm at a loss because fortunately I attended the last meeting, and one of the reasons why we took you on oath was to get the truth from you, and today you have deviated. You have deviated because you did say, yes, there was release of money, and you take instruction from principal. And there and then, I confronted permanent secretary. He said he was not in the known. And I still making my statement that you are running the ministry with your minister Both of you, I take exception to this.
Please don't interrupt, honorable member. Don't interrupt.
I take exception to this.
Don't interrupt, honorable member. Please let her finish.
I am not scared to anybody.
Interrupting,
I don't want it. She should withdraw that statement she said about me.
Honorable minister, calm down. Honorable minister, calm down.
I'm repeating what I said. I confronted the permanent secretary and the DFA last week Thursday. I'm still alive talking. You did say it's what they approved to you. I said, Mr. Pamsek, what happened? You are not in the know. I said, look, I was twice commissioner in my state, and the accounting officer is the permanent secretary. Please, you people should work with the permanent secretary. Didn't I say so, Mr. DFA? I am still saying it because from the revelations, what's coming out is one-man show. One-man show you people are doing two-man show.
Can I talk to
We will call you when you have to call. Just calm down. Don't worry. You will talk. You will have your time. You will have your time. Honorable minister, you will have your time. You will have your time.
Yes, no fairness here. It's a trap. It's a trap, but I'm not going to jump into it.
Thank you, Chairperson.
I will not jump into the trap.
Please, honorable minister,
I fear nothing. I've stolen nothing.
Honorable minister, you will have your time to talk.
Tampered with anything. That's why I don't fear anybody. I'm not
Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister.
Honorable Minister, we are working with records. We are working with records. We are working with records.
On the issue of the contract, even the ones given while I was there, they have not been paid. Yes, they have not been paid. So there is no partiality here except that we are underfunded. We don't have money. They have not been paid. That's why we moved the ongoing project to this year's budget so that they will be able to pay them.
There is an eye-opener video that is trending out there, posted by not by this particular guy. I don't know his name. I would have loved, at least because I own no copyright to this particular video, to watch the secrets that this guy revealed about our politician. After you watch this particular video, believe it or not, you will fed up about Nigeria entirely. So Yakba is not only going to be a syndrome, but a must and mandatory for you. I want you guys to watch this particular video. We'll be right back.
On the 28th of May 2023, a day before the inauguration of Nigerian President Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his wife and First Lady of Nigeria, Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, said this:
Nigeria's wealth is the common wealth of all. It belongs to everyone. God has blessed my family. We don't need the wealth of Nigeria to survive, but to do the right thing.
Now, if you don't believe her, here's some proof for you. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is said to be worth several hundreds of millions of dollars, a vast real estate holdings, as well as investments scattered around energy and a handful of other sectors of the Nigerian economy. But it's not only the president's family that has done well for themselves now. Here is Nyesom Wike, the current minister of the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. He's said to be one of the richest former governors in Nigeria. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is said to own several properties in Dubai. And there are lots of other politicians with business holdings and investments scattered around the country. This has left me wondering, if politicians are just public servants, why are they so rich and the people they serve so poor? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how these folks get to be so wealthy. We will look at the laws that have enabled some of these politicians to take advantage of the system and how this affects you, the average Nigerian. President Bola Tinubu worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Nyesom Wike worth millions of dollars. George Akume worth millions of dollars. Guess what all these men have in common? They are all career politicians who have been directly or indirectly involved in government since Nigeria's return to democracy in 1999. But there's another thing all three have in common that will be very relevant to our story much later, and that is they were all former governors of their respective states for 8 years. Now, while politics in Nigeria has become something for the highest bidder, there seems to be a reason why. That could be the high returns involved. And I'm not talking about the looting or embezzlement we immediately associate with politicians now. Rather, I'm talking about the insane salaries and allowances that these people accumulate throughout their time in office. Added to all of these benefits, some politicians have also found ways to build highly profitable companies from the ground up as a result of government contracts they get while in office. And when their time is up, they also get something called a severance package that is sometimes worth 300% of their basic salaries as presidents, governors, senators, or other political office holders. Now, let's start with the salaries and you'll see what I mean. This is Tunde, an average Nigerian graduate looking for a federal government job that pays the minimum wage, just so he can afford to feed and stop depending on his poor mother, who has been catering for his basic needs ever since his father died. Tunde's worth, according to the federal government of Nigeria, is 30,000 naira. That is less than $30 for an entire month's labor. Now, to put this in perspective, it would take Tunde 50 years of saving his entire salary to get 1 year's basic salary of a Nigerian senator that earns 1.5 million naira monthly and still gets another 52 million naira in office running allowances. And what is the job of this senator again? Yes, they made the law that kept the minimum wage at 30,000 naira, while JAS is set at 1.5 million naira per month. But then something crazy happened. There's this body saddled with the responsibility of determining how much is appropriate for political office holders in Nigeria, including the president, vice president, governors, deputy governors, ministers, even commissioners, and to cap it all, the legislators inclusive. This body is known as the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission. Their job, among others, is to monitor the increase and disbursement of revenue from the Federation account and reviewing from time to time the amount being allocated to different things, especially salaries. What happened was that this body woke up one morning and said that they realized that Nigerian politicians were suffering too much. So they needed to adjust the salary structure to help these politicians survive the difficult times we live in. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Guess what? They proposed a 114% increase in the salaries of these political office holders, including the president, vice president, governors, lawmakers, as well as judicial office holders. Remember Tunde with his 30,000 naira per month salary? He is not getting any of this increase, even though his cost of living just shot through the roof as a result of the recent removal of fuel subsidy, which I talked about in this video linked with chambers. The House of Representatives takes the bulk with 60 billion naira and the Senate takes 40 billion naira. This means the 360 members of the lower chamber have 60 billion to initiate, implement, or complete projects in their various constituencies, while the 109 members in the Senate have 40 billion to do the same. But the implementation is where the math changes. Only a fraction of the said amount budgeted for each chamber gets to the lawmakers. The fraction comes after a series of deductions are made. Starting with the leadership of the House now, out of the 40 billion naira budgeted for the Senate, it is said that the leadership of the chamber takes 20 billion to fund projects in their own constituencies. The remaining 20 billion goes to about 100 other members of the chamber. But you have to note here that the 20 billion naira special funding for the chamber's leadership does not exclude the said leadership from benefiting in the general fund, as they still nominate projects to be funded with the balance of 20 billion naira. Even though the projects are advertised in line with the Public Procurement Act, only contractors nominated by the lawmakers are often awarded these contracts. At times, some lawmakers nominate companies in which they have interest in, like companies belonging to friends and family members. In some cases, contractors awarded jobs only move the cash to the lawmakers' accounts, who nominated them for the contracts in the first place, and these contracts remain unimplemented. In one exclusive interview, former Nigerian Senator Shehu Sani disclosed how the constituency projects are given on a zonal basis, with almost every senator going with a constituency fund of about 200 million naira. But if the senators are not given direct access to this money, how do they benefit from the funds? One of the means used is by inflating the budgets of government agencies. For instance, the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, an agency under the Ministry of Trade and Investment, had its budget upped to 14.85 billion from 11.02 billion. Similar suspicious appropriation can be seen in the budget of the Border Communities Development Agency, which is domiciled under the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Lawmakers raised the agency's budget from the 3.73 billion proposed by former President Muhammadu Buhari to 5.46 billion naira. The Independent Corrupt Practices Commission has accused these two agencies of budget overpricing as a channel for embezzling funds. In August 2019, the ICPC recovered items such as motorbikes, grinding machines, and tricycles estimated to be worth 170 million naira, stored in a compound reportedly belonging to Senator Chukwuka Utazi, who is representing Enugu North Senatorial District in Enugu State. In another instance, in 2022, a report implicated a senator representing Benue North East Senatorial District, where the project he sponsored belonged to City Science and Technical Academy, a school he owns. In Abuja, a training and empowerment program for women and youths worth over 149.9 million naira was reportedly awarded to Aljabi Integrated Nigeria Limited, but against the due process policy of the federal government, as the company is said to be owned by a certain Sokodabo Hamza, a relative of the sponsoring lawmaker. In a similar case of abuse of office, a contract worth 199.9 million naira was said to have been awarded to Sinti Nigeria Limited by the Sokoto Rima Basin Authority in November 2020. It was later found that the company belongs to the sponsor of the project, a certain Jibri Barrel of Kano Senatorial District. Now, in most constituencies across the country, voters have been brainwashed by their representatives into believing that constituency projects such as roads, water projects, electricity distribution, and a whole lot of others are being personally funded by these lawmakers, contrary to the fact that constituency and other projects are actually funded by the government with public funds. And when they are done using the public money to award multi-million-dollar contracts to companies owned by their friends and loved ones, at the end of their term in office, these politicians are able to secure their financial future by connecting a pipe to the national treasury through something called severance package. Holding a political office in Nigeria allows one to be paid for a lifetime. As approved by the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, political office holders are entitled to 300% of their annual salary as a severance package. In addition, some ex-governors will be paid 100% of their annual basic salary for life after leaving office. Remember that current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State, and there are several other former governors serving in the current administration. So here's the deal. They all have a pension for life, but they are not alone. The large severance packages for the president, vice president, state governors, legislators, and other political appointees that left office in May 2023 was put at a whopping sum of 63.45 billion naira. This was money paid by the Nigerian government to people leaving office. According to this revenue mobilization body, the former President Buhari will get a severance pay of 10.5 million naira, while former Vice President Osinbajo will receive 9.09 million. The 8 special advisors in the presidency are expected to get 5.8 million naira each, totaling 46.64 million naira. They would also get new cars every 3 years, a house in any part of the country, free medical care, as well as furniture allowance and car maintenance allowance. They are also entitled to cooks, stewards, gardeners, and other domestic staff, among other perks, including policemen and Department of State Services operatives for life. According to civil society group SERAP, there are governors collecting.
Me as a Nigerian, I just felt give up. Since 2015, ever since Buhari took over office, immediately they hand over power to APC. That is when, and when I gave up on Nigeria. There is never a thing that you will ever put together that will make that country work. There is no magic. As long that APC continue to rule that country, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that you and I can do. You listen. If you want to watch the full video, you can go to the guide platform. That's why I can't put all video here, because definitely I don't know if he will come across this video and give me copyright. So that's why I just put it short, and I have no copyright to it. If you come across this, I say, sir, please. I just put it there so that my followers can also watch it. But at the end of the day, as a Nigerian, please comment your thoughts about this particular video. I want to hear from you in the comment section. This is what we're going to be ending the video today. Me myself, I don't tire for Nigeria politics. Ever since APC, Tinubu enter power, we never even see front, we never see back. Just off the aging of Nigeria, nothing is moving anymore. All right, I'm waiting for you guys in the comment section. I love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. If you do, turn on the notification bell so that you wouldn't miss out on our official uppost. Until we meet again, stay tuned for TV. Peace out. I beg subscribe. I beg. Peace out. I love you guys. Subscribe.